Now that I've done the most important bit in the van, painting the wheels black, I think it's time to start with the inside. This next stage is taking out all of the ply lining that's in here and just sorting out any of the paintwork. So if there is rust, treating that, filling any holes, rust prevention. So first things first, take out all the ply just to see what we're dealing with. And the same thing that I did with the wheels, I'm going to explain what I do as I go, if I come across any problems, how much things cost, the tools that I need, and the time things take, all at the end and below. So I'm going to get all of these off. I don't know if these are meant to come off. But first things first, the ply is coming off. Oh, I might need a little bucket for my screws. Let's get a pot for the screws. Don't want them rolling around everywhere. That's better. I'm going to keep all of these as they are, just in case I need them for templates to go around the wheel arches, and this might be useful as well to keep. I have one wheel arch, so I might need that. So I'm going to try and keep everything in the shed, just in case. Try not to wreck everything. I've also drawn on the panels so I know where they go. I'm not sure the size was that important to name because I think it's pretty obvious. But when it comes to the floor, I'm definitely I'm gonna draw a little diagram and then number the pieces that I take out, because when it comes to cutting out the wheel arches and stuff, all those little edges, I'm gonna want to have a good template for when I do that for our new floor. So that is what I'm doing now. I think there's only 4 pieces. Maybe a white pen would have been better. I think it would be pretty obvious, but I just want to be on the safe side because I'm just trying to make my life as easy as possible. Let's see what's under this floor. I think it looks all right just from this panel. There's no signs of like rust or scratching or anything. It's just kind of disgustingly dirty, which is fine. Okay, 3 more to go. That was all going a bit too well, obviously, and one screw has lost its thread. So I'm going to try and drill it out. I've seen that people do that. They just drill into the screw. I mean, there's loads of holes in the floor already, so if I create another hole, that's no big deal, right? So loud. It doesn't seem to be working. Maybe I'm going to take out all of these thingies, like where you lash things down. All of these, and hope that magically in that time the screw will grow back a thread. Okay, another problem is that it's got this grey stuff on the side of the walls, and I don't know how they're stuck on. got these like plastic things, but they're not screws. They're just like clipped in. So I don't know how you're meant to get them off. Unfortunately, my drill set, the thing that it comes with, doesn't go big enough to take all these, I don't know what you call them, the things that you strap things down with. Luckily, my little handheld jobby does. So I'm gonna have to take all of those off by hand. Don't forget about the side door, like I almost did. I've taken all of these out, apart from 2, because again, the thread is gone. There are also 2 in the bulkhead. I'm not going to bother taking those off. Actually, I might have to. I might have to take them off to get the bulkhead off. I will, so I'm going to do that now. Even though I'm not taking the bulkhead off yet. I think it's also worth keeping all of these, your ply lining and your floor, after you finish your build, because then you might be able to sell them on eBay or Facebook or something, because people are always looking for van stuff. So that's another way to save money, hopefully, to help you with your build. That's what we're planning on doing. Hopefully after we've finished needing it, we haven't sold it before we've gone, oh, we haven't done the floor yet. I've worked out how to get these bits off. So they're just like these weird clippy things. I just got a flathead screwdriver, wedge it in between the 2 layers here, and then just kind of lever it out. Okay, so that is all the ply lining taken off. Apart from, annoyingly, that bit, that one. So almost done that in one go. Unfortunately, not that bit, which is pretty annoying. So that's taken me an hour and a half to take off all the ply lining and the plastic lining stuff as well. Obviously I haven't taken out the bulkhead, so allocate time if you want to take that off at the same time. You might not have as much trouble as I did, or you may have more trouble, who knows. That's all I'm going to do for today. I just wanted to kind of prep because I've got tomorrow off, so that's when I'll probably go to my dad's to try and get that bit taken off and see if he's got some different tools. He's probably got better tools than me to do that. So then tomorrow it'll be cleaning and painting, filling in the holes, because there's loads of holes in the floor now. Don't really want those. And see how much I can get done tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be able to get all of the painting done, the ceiling, rusting and everything. And that'll all be sorted tomorrow so I can sound deaden, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be really loud in here now.
So the problem we've got with these screws is they're probably stainless steel, and stainless steel doesn't like being drilled very easily. And we've also got the added precaution of underneath here is the spare wheel, which is rubber. So if the drill shoots through, it will go straight through the spare tyre. So we've got to drill very, very carefully. Smoking.
Smoking. Don't set yourself on fire.
No. I think we'll go larger.
So maybe I was using the wrong drill bits.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
Because that makes a difference.
And these are brand new.
Going,
as opposed to old ones.
Okay. And then what setting do you go on to drill? Is it on like hammer or
no, not hammer.
No.
Drill, you for drilling metal you drill fast, and wood. Okay. You drill fast as opposed to slow.
Okay.
That might come off now.
Let's try.
Whoa. Might be there. There's another one. Another one here.
Oh, there's another one here. I missed one. Dad to the rescue. So if you do get stuck, like me, you can always ask for help. I want to do the majority of this on my own, but if ever there's something that comes up that I don't know what to do, there's always people around that have either got tools or a bit of knowledge to help you out. Ask your neighbours, ask your parents.
You've got to be kneeling on them. So be careful of that. I've got to get that out. What have I got?
Got an angle grinder or something?
Well, I could cut it off, but I might better get it out.
All right, no extreme measures just yet.
Yeah, she's going.
Oh, nice.
There you go. So drilling it takes the head off.
Yeah.
And once you've got the head off, then you've got something to grab hold of.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
As opposed to nothing to grab hold of.
Dad's helped me take out the final floor panel and the final cargo strap things. He used pliers for the cargo things and then, as you saw, drilled out the hole. And then as soon as he drilled out the top of the screw that was stuck, the thread had gone, he used pliers to undo it because it could still unscrew, it was just the top, instead of like angle grinding it or something drastic like that. So I've cleaned all of the panels, all of the roof. I didn't do the bulkhead because that's coming out. And I did think on the way here that I was going to take that out today, but on the drive here, it was really loud in the back. So I thought, actually, I'm going to keep that in whilst I'm still in the process because of noise driving around. Now I'm going to clean the floor, hoover, and I'm probably just going to get like soapy water because I've used all of my big wipes. And I've got some sick knee pads off of Dad. Woo, old school. Oh, lovely. I forgot to say, when I was wiping it down and I was starting to feel a little bit like, oh my God, how many walls does this van have? I actually thought, it's like I'm wiping away its old life. You are no longer a whatever van you were before, mistreated. You're going to go on loads of adventures and be really loved. So it was quite therapeutic. If you think about it that way, when you get bored and you've got to go in between all the little gaps and stuff, just think, I'm wiping away your old life, ready for your new life. It might help you too. I've hoovered it and got out most of the dirt and grime and stuff, but now I'm just I've got a bit of soapy water, so I'm gonna give it a little scrub to get the bits that are really stuck on off, and then probably go back over it with some blue roll. And then it's time for lunch. It's so shiny. It's come out really nice, but bloody hell, it's taken way longer than what I thought. You watch these YouTube videos, people doing it, 15-minute video. I know it's not going to take me 15 minutes, but still, it's taken me 3 hours just to clean it. Just to clean it. That's not even rusting, derusting, painting. So that's why I want to kind of say how long things are taking me as well as the cost and everything. Because, yeah, a lot of people put down how much it costs, but I don't think a lot of people say how long things take. And obviously it depends on your van. Things might take longer for me and might take longer for you. But at least you've got a rough idea. Allow around 3 hours just to prep your van, to rust treat it. I'm giving it a good dry with blue roll because it's a bit wet and rainy today. If it was nice and warm, it would probably dry pretty quick on its own. But today, not the case. Now that the van is super clean, ready to start prepping all the little holes and stuff. So there's a few holes that've got bits of metal poking out. So I want to get rid of all these little bits. So I'm going to go over those first with a file. I'm going to file those down, and then I'm going to use these abrasive sheets just to sand down the rust and everything. So I'm going to go over these bits, sand them down, and then use the crust to treat the rust. I think I'm going to use a hoover when I do this as well, because I don't want the little metal rubbings to come off and hit the floor and then create new scratches. I started sanding down the holes that are in the base of the van, but I'm not going to do that anymore because I'm going to stick rivets in the hole so there's no holes in the floor anymore. But what I need to do is drill the holes a little bit bigger because the rivets are a bit bigger than the holes. So I'm going to drill all the holes in the floor first, then sand them down if there's any rust. If there's no rust, I can just put the rivet in because the bit that pokes up that's sharp, the rivet's going to go over anyway, so there's no point. Save a little job. So drill the holes in the floor and in the walls as well, where all like the ply and the floor and everything went into. I'm going to drill. There's also loads of them, so hopefully I'll get them all. But if you miss the odd one, doing the odd one is not too much of a job. It's doing the whole lot that takes ages. All the holes have been drilled, so now I'm going round everywhere where there's scratches on the paintwork and just giving them a sand down, especially if they've got bits of rust. I don't know, you could not bother with all of this stuff, but after spending so much money on a van, I want it to last for as long as possible. And these boring crap jobs that feel like you're not doing anything that take forever are actually really important. So get some knee pads and prepare for it to be quite a long, boring day. I've hoovered for the 500th time, sanded down, rubbed down any bits of rust and stuff. So now I'm going to degrease with a little bit of rubbing alcohol from work, and then go over any of the rust patches that are still there that I can see with some of this rust. So this is to stop the rust that's already kind of started. Mine's not too bad, but I definitely don't want any of that to carry on. So we're going to take all precautions. But first, yeah, just degrease with some alcohol to get all those last little bits of like dust and stuff off. The worst of my rust was at the front here and maybe on the wheel arches. Don't forget about the doors. I almost forgot about the back doors and this bit along here. If it's a van that's been used for like carrying stuff, you're more than likely going to have bits that are battered along the back doors, the side door, and right along here. There's like some rust forming here, so I'm glad that I had a little look at that, so I can do that too. And I have run out of time for today, but that's the reality of doing it yourself. You just got to do little bits when you can. So I have prepped it all and crusted it so it's ready for the primer coats of paint and then the Hammerite metal paint, and then pop riveting and stuff, which, yeah, I'm glad I've got all this little bit done. And this bit's taken me another hour and a half to like drill the holes and sand down the rust and crust. So not too long, and I don't think the other bits are going to take too long as well. So I'm glad I've got all that done. It's just mad how long things take. But yeah, it looks really good. I'm pleased with what I've done today, and it looks very, very white and shiny. All right, it is a couple of days later. Everything's dry, obviously, and I find myself with a little bit of time. So I'm hoping to get all this prep work on the paint finished and the holes filled. There's these holes in the wheel arches, I'm assuming from where the ply was drilled in. So I need to drill those holes to make them a little bit bigger so the rivets fit in. Then prime with red oxide primer, 2 coats of that on all of the exposed metal. These are the holes from the wheel arch on the outside of the van. So I'm going to clean these bits as well and put the primer on these bits. And then I think I'm going to spray paint the wheel arches black as well, because I think that'll look better than having the white wheel arch. So it's going to look red for a little bit, but it will all go black eventually. Now, I want to try and do everything methodically to limit the amount that I miss. So I'm going to start off on this wall, work my way around, and then start at the front of the floor and work my way back. And that same goes with like second coats and stuff, because that's when it's really confusing, because it looks like you've already done it all, where it'd be pretty obvious where I've not done it the first coat. I just read on the tin that it's 6 hours dry time. And you've got to do 2 coats. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, I might be able to do another one tonight before it's dark. That'll be nice, because then it's bloody coating again with other stuff. I'm going on pretty liberally, I think. I don't really know what I'm doing. Good thing about this sort of painting is that it doesn't have to be neat and tidy at all, because it's all going to get covered, so you can just slap it on, which is exactly what I'm doing. I also ordered some sound deadening in the meantime of doing this. After driving it round, it's so noisy and rattly, so I thought windows would be the next job after this, but I think it'll be sound deadening just to make it a little bit quieter when I'm driving around. And that's quite expensive actually, sound deadening stuff. I went for the Dodo mat, and I've started with 40 sheets, I think it is. And that's what people have said. I need to bloody hoover this van again. I've put nothing in the back, because obviously if I put anything in the back and drive around, it's just going to smash around. But there's just loads of dust. I don't know where it's come from. Hoover number 1000. I found the worst spots to be around the doors, this main sliding door, where things can be knocked along the back and the wheel arches. Everywhere else is kind of fine, apart from where the holes have been drilled for the ply. Right, I've done my first coat of the red oxide primer. But whilst I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to put the rivets in all the holes. And I had seen a couple, when they did it, they dunked their rivets into the primer and then put them through. So I'm going to do the same, and then when I do the second coat, they can go over the rivets, so they'll be sealed too. Also, when it came to the cargo straps, we found, I think they're like TV mounts, these massive bolts. So again, I'm going to dip those into the red oxide primer as well and screw those in. I don't know whether I need a washer or not. I think the primer will keep them on. Let me know in the comments if I should put washers on, but I'm just going to dunk them, screw them in, and then prime over the top as well. If not, just take the cargo straps, the bolt out, and take that to a hardware store so you can get the bolts that fit those holes. So I'm going to do those first. I feel like that's going to be really messy. These are going in. Yes, that is very messy. Oh, oops. Don't think I needed the one that I dropped in anyway, luckily. So the rivet gun, it's got different holes here, so just make sure whichever one you're using fits in to the gun. They can change, you can just unscrew them to change the sizes. So I'm going to dip that into the red oxide, get that in there, bung it in, and then you just keep squeezing it. Make sure that's pushed in until you hear that sound, and the long bit will then come out, and then that is done. I'm going to get a little brush actually and just wipe that excess. Excellent. Only 500 more to go. I've cut my finger. Sorry, it's that one. I broke the rivet gun, so I'm having an ice cream. Right, once again, that took me way longer than what I thought. So I've done the first coat of primer, but I think that I no longer have any holes in my floor, which is exciting. When you can actually like see through the floor to the ground. I didn't think that was good, but now I can't see any ground. I may have missed the odd few, which I'm hoping that when I do the second coat of primer, I can find, and then there'll be the odd one that I can fill in again. But riveted all the holes, first coat of primer, dunked the bloody rivets, each one, broke the rivet gun, fixed the rivet gun, had an ice cream. 3 hours later. I just want to reiterate that the reality is, for every job like this, probably allow at least a week. I'm probably not going to bother filming the second coat of primer because that's going to be a little bit more boring than watching the first coat, maybe. And then it's on to the next stage. So I'll just show you a little clip of when I do that. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's pretty boring to do, it's probably pretty boring to watch, unless you are doing the same thing as me. And therefore it might be quite helpful. I like to go over everything because when I watch some videos, and let's be honest, it's mainly guys, and they might miss out a few of the obvious things that I don't think are obvious because I've never done anything like this before. How to use a rivet gun, no idea. But then I Googled it, like how to fix it once I broke it, and I fixed the rivet gun, which is pretty cool. So I am surprising myself already about what I am capable of. Still feels super overwhelming. And these are the amount of rivets that I've used. I'm not counting them, but there's a lot there. So now I'm going over the red oxide primer with Hammerite Direct to Rust metal paint. I've seen other people use radiator paint as well, which I think is a great idea because then you've got the heat. If the van gets really hot, that's like an added thing, but they didn't have any of that, so I'm sure this will work absolutely fine. Luckily, we only need one coat of this. Yes! And then it's on to sound deadening, because it's rattly AF. Oops. I'm not going to notice white on my hair anyway. Something that I've just thought of now that it's 7:20 is that I'm going to have to leave the doors open to dry for like an hour. So I am getting all the doors, especially round where the doors seal, done so that they can dry first, so that hopefully when I shut my doors the paint's not going to stick to either side of the door. So that's something to bear in mind. Dry time and shutting your doors. You don't want to paint and then immediately shut your doors because they might stick shut. And I'm probably going to end up with paint everywhere because I'm going to forget that there's wet paint all along here and all along the back door, and I need to do the floor yet, and the wheel arches and this wall. Good as new. 2 hours to do that white coat. Okay, now for the most exciting part, how long it took and how much it cost. Cost-wise, let's break it down. I got Crust to treat the rust, £6.98. Hammerite red oxide primer, £12. Hammerite smooth white metal paint, £23. A metal paint brush, £5.50. White spirit, £3.50. I had the sandpaper left over from doing the wheels. That was originally £6.50, but I'm not including that because that was in the wheels. Rivets and the rivet gun I borrowed, so I have not included that in my price. Obviously, you might need to account for that. And alcohol spray, I had some at work, so I used that. In total, £50.98. These little jobs seeming more expensive than what I thought. They're going to add up. So, time-wise, I think you'll be so surprised at this. Took bloody ages. 1.5 hours to take out the ply, the walls, the floor, and then the plastic walls underneath the walls. 3 hours to clean. 1.5 hours drilling the holes, sanding and crusting. 3 hours for the first coat of the red oxide primer and allowing 6 hours to dry in between coats. 1 hour, maybe just over, to do the second coat of the red oxide primer, and then 2 hours to do the white metal paint, which is where we're at now. All in all, well, it took just over a week to do all that, but hours-wise, it took 12 hours, apparently. I hope you found this video useful if you're doing your van. I've got into lots of detail, so it might be incredibly boring. Hopefully you'll find it useful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you next week.